Hi, I'm Emily Taylor from Collage Quilter. Thank you for joining me. This is the second video about the journey of making this alphabet quilt. So I want to update you about some decisions that we've made with this quilt. And number one, we have decided that we are going to stick with uniform size blocks. So that meant that we had to throw out Mr. Iguana, and Amelia's really happy about it because she didn't love the iguana. So you might find the iguana somewhere else, in something else, but it also required, so this uniform size, I really like the way this looks now, and it did require a few other modifications to some of the blocks. So M for mushroom, I had to change out and do a new mushroom block. I also had to cut the original lobster and take out a section so that this lobster will actually fit on the block. So that was a huge decision to figure that out. And you can see that we began also making the blocks. So we've decided on our color palette is the blues and reds and yellows, so primary with green and some brown. I'll talk more about color in just a minute, but so those are the major decisions that we've made so far at this point with the quilt. As far as collages, let me show you what I was able to accomplish this week. So we got a new mushroom. I did the frog. I really love this frog block. Really love Mr. Froggy. The owl is new since last week, and the eggs are new. The apple is new. I don't know if you maybe caught that the A was different last week. I had an acorn, and I felt like it was too small for the block. So Amelia really wanted an apple, so we put an apple in, and I'm really happy with that. It's just kind of an iconic A is for apple sort of thing. So, and I really like the red that it brings in. So I think those are the main decisions. What's that?
The letters.
Oh, the letters too. Yeah, I decided midweek that I wanted to experiment with adding letters on each block. So you can see we got started up here, and Amelia and I have made another decision. This is a different font. You can kind of see I don't know what the font is called, but we decided that we're going to unify the font. But we will use different sizes and same font. So that also is a big decision that we made this week. So we've made a lot of progress, I think, since I saw you last. Anything else, Amelia? I know one more thing. The pumpkin, I made this into a downloadable pattern. So if you're interested, you can buy downloads of these blocks as I get them ready. So this one is available now. It's a perfect fall project. And I will continue to work on the patterns. And of course, this will be a jumbo pattern when I'm finished. So I have a few more tips for you, but before I get to those, I want to thank you so much for following along with this journey of making my alphabet quilt. And I hope that you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel, this channel, and you can always find my books and patterns and fabric on collagequilter.com. So we will see you again very soon, and follow along for the tips that are coming after this. See ya. All right, so I wanted to talk to you about our color palette and what we're deciding, and show you kind of how we operate. So the colors that we're using are these reds and these blues. So I've just kind of pulled everything that I think is going to be a potential in this quilt. So those are my creams. We've got some browns, our golds, and then greens. So the colors that you'll see we are not using, we don't have pink, we don't have purple, and what else don't we have?
Not orange, really. Well, not for the main.
Yeah, we're not really including orange other than
the collages themselves.
Other than the collages. So as we've pulled fabric together, this is kind of the palette. We want it to be primary colors plus green and some brown. So we're making up each block as we go, And what we're doing is just cutting, we pull fabric from the palette that we think we're gonna use, and then we just try it out. So we actually we're working on the frog and the owl right now. And I think what we're gonna end up doing is using, let me pull this bolt of fabric over. I think we're gonna end up using the yellow for the frog. Doesn't that look nice? I think that looks really good. Yeah, he could work on the dark, but I actually think I want the owl on the dark. It's kind of a dark green. So once we get the main color that we think we're going to use, then I like to peel these off and actually see what they look like, see if they get lost or if they look okay. So my initial response is, well, yeah, this is very high contrast. It might be too high contrast with that really dark background and the light in his face and on his chest. So I don't know. We'll see. One way, my idea with this is that the letter O will probably be, I don't know, if I pull in some other creams, that might be a way to offset that hard to focus on his face and body. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe we'll pull in some blue. So from here, what I want to figure out is, okay, now what are the corners going to be and what is the letter going to be? I do love the yellow, but then I also have to consider what is the block that he's going to be next to. So now what we'll do is, we think it might be this. We'll take this over to the design wall and put it up, and then we'll pull the secondary colors so that they coordinate with the blocks that are around him. So come with me over to the design wall. All right, so a minute ago I showed you that I think I want the yellow background for the frog. Now I know this isn't in order, but this is, so here he is on the yellow. And when we put the yellow up here, Amelia and I were both like, ooh, we gotta be a little bit careful with the color yellow because it's such a dominant color. In fact, it's the color that will attract your eye the most. So it's great to have touches of yellow that can move your eye around the quilt, but this one might be kind of dominant. So I still haven't decided. Haven't taken him off the paper yet because of that. The other issue with this is his crown will get lost. I'll have to do his crown over, and that's okay. I have to do that. We can make the yellow a little more subtle with the choices that we choose for the corner blocks and also for the letter. So it might end up working. As an alternative, we pulled this one out to see how that would work, and I don't know. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and peel him off right now, if I can. He's kind of piecey. So give me just a second to peel this off, and then I'll be right back. All right, I got Mr. Froggy off the parchment paper, and you can see here's what he looks like on the yellow. Again, crown is completely lost. But I do like the yellow from this distance. It's just a matter of whether it's going to dominate the quilt. Now, as an alternative, let's try this one, this color, and that's a no. It's just too distracting. It's too distracting. It just doesn't provide enough contrast so that we can see the frog really well. And the other thing that I don't like about this is it's the same print as what's right here in the bee block. So that one I can eliminate, and we'll probably use that maybe somewhere else in the quilt. So now we're just going to be looking at either using yellow or maybe another dark color. We'll have to figure that out still. So I do feel like I'm really happy with the owl. I like the high contrast here. I like the pop of dark in here. And of course the dark will be balanced because we'll choose corners that are a little lighter, and also he's gonna have a big O around him for O is for owl. So we'll be working on that one as we go in the next week. So next week you'll be able to see what our final choices are for those. All right, so I have traced the letter B on reverse on the stemma seam, okay? So I'm now going to use a tiny little rotary blade just to give you a reference. There's the one that I normally cut fabric with. Here's a good medium one, and then this is a small one. And in those areas, you can see it's kind of a rough sketch. It's not perfect, but I can make the letter, I can make it perfect, especially on those edges where they need to be straight. So it's kind of helpful to do. Oh, the other thing is I should indicate what's going to be cut away. So this is going to be cut away. This is going to be cut away. In here, in here, and in here is going to be cut away. So these areas that I need to make straight, I'm not going to hand cut. I'm going to cut them with a rotary and a ruler to make sure they're tidy. And then if I'm feeling really brave, I can take my this tiny little rotary and just go along the edge like this. And yeah, I feel pretty brave. So I'm gonna keep going. Just gonna keep this right on my tracing. If you don't feel brave, then you can, where's that thread? Little thread there, get out of there. If you don't feel brave, use your scissors. Thus. Okay? So that's how I am going to tackle this bee.